Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WWE Draft. As we now know that SmackDown will have the number 3 pick. The first picks go to Raw and SmackDown. Now let me make this clear. For the main roster draft, everybody, and I mean everybody, is on the line. Anyone can be chosen and will be chosen. If you are a tag team champion, your title will be separated if you get separated from your partner. The number 1 pick is, of course, the number 1 pick. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H have made Cesaro their number 1 pick, and it's a great pick right here. You know, the WWE champion definitely staying on your brand, definitely going to keep himself part of the Monday Night Raw brand. He's a member of the Raw roster, and that's a great pick by the Authority. You want to make sure you keep a champion. And now here we go. Who is the number 2 pick in the draft? It's Daniel Bryan, and oh my god, that's the SmackDown World Heavyweight Champion. Oh my god, that leaves SmackDown without a champion right there. Daniel Bryan, a member of the SmackDown roster, was a member of the Raw roster before, didn't really do much, but now the World Champion is headed to Monday Night Raw. And how is SmackDown going to retaliate this? How is SmackDown going to get their first number 1 pick? And we're about to find out who Shane and Shawn Michaels selected as number 1 right now. Oh, it's the Beast! The Beast, Brock Lesnar, the man who held that WWE Championship all year long. A man who was a staple in main events of pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. The Beast, Brock Lesnar, is coming to SmackDown Live. Oh my god, I don't even know, but what I'm hearing now is that the Authority have got their next pick for Monday Night Raw, and it is a phenomenal pick, and I must say it's a shocking pick of AJ Styles. A shocking pick because Triple H does not like AJ Styles. Triple H is not the biggest fan of AJ, but AJ is coming over. It's staying on Monday Night Raw, but I was shocked. I thought he was going to SmackDown. I thought AJ Styles would have been part of the SmackDown brand. But up next, I hear Shane and the Heartbreak Kid have a pick that should be interesting to watch up next. Here we go. Who is it? The former World Heavyweight Champion, the Lunatic, Dean Ambrose, will stay on SmackDown, and it's a great choice by Shane and Shawn Michaels. Dean Ambrose, since joining SmackDown, has battled for the Intercontinental Championship, became the World Champion. This man is definitely someone you want on your roster, and I'm not going to doubt it, but again, Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar now part of SmackDown Live, and this should be an interesting draft as Raw is coming up with their next pick, and let's see who they pick. They have picked the Women's Champion, Paige. And this is big right here. The first woman taken off the board. She is the Women's Champion, Paige. And I'm proud of this pick right here for Raw. I think this is a great pick for Monday Night Raw. Paige establishing herself as the woman to beat now. She will stay on Monday Night Raw where she has been. Most of all the Raw picks have been Raw already rosters except for Daniel Bryan. But this is interesting. This is interesting to see. And I hear Shane's coming up with the next pick for SmackDown. Here we go. And it's the big dog, Roman Reigns, switching over from Raw to SmackDown. This should be interesting. The big dog reunited with the former Shield brother in Dean Ambrose. Roman is coming to SmackDown Live, and I can't wait to see where Roman Reigns will go from here. You know, it's coming from Raw over here, and that's an interesting choice by Shane and Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. And up next, SmackDown will hopefully see who's getting... Oh! Monday Night Raw! Monday Night Raw says we're keeping the U.S. Champion on Monday nights. Seth Rollins, who expected to be the number 1 pick just because of his friendship with the game Triple H. But hey, you're still on Monday Night Raw, Mr. Seth Rollins. And Triple H didn't let you down. Seth Rollins will be part of Monday Night Raw. SmackDown Live says, okay, that's a fine pick. That's a great pick right there. But let's see who SmackDown Live selects up next. And it's Natalya, and don't let this fool you right here. She was the face of the women's division all of past the last year. She was always on the hunt for the women's championship or the Divas championship, whatever title was in her spot. Divas championship, preferably, she went after. She kept trying to get it. It's a great pick right here, just to tell Raw, hey, we're focusing on our women's division too, and we're gonna make sure we get one of the best. And Natalya. And up next, I hear Monday Night Raw is ready to steal something away from SmackDown. That's the inside word, and here we go. It's Sheamus! Sheamus, the former world champion, coming over from SmackDown to Raw. And that's a big pick right there. Triple H, who's been very friendly also as well with Sheamus. Triple H might be looking to help his friends out here, and this is a big one right here. Sheamus is joining Monday Night Raw, and up next, we got to see who SmackDown takes, man. SmackDown's got to make a big splash. There's still big names on the board, and here we go. SmackDown has selected the biggest name on the board. It is the man, the legend. It is John Cena coming over to SmackDown. This is big. Ambrose, Lesnar, Reigns, Natalya on SmackDown Live now. This is the star power that SmackDown needed, and we got it. We got him from Monday Night Raw. The champ is here on SmackDown Live. And up next, Raw's got to figure out how do you counteract. There's still big names on the board. And wait, I'm getting another one. Here comes a big name. The Women's Intercontinental Champion, Emma. The insatiable Emma. Oh, baby. Emma is here. Emma is on Raw, and she stays on Raw, so it's a great pick right there. Keeping it close right here. But the Women's Intercontinental Champion will stay on Monday Night Raw. And with so many names still on the board, Tyler Breeze, a Rusev, a Randy Orton, a New Day, a Jericho, a Miz, who will SmackDown select? They have selected the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Wyatt comes over from Raw to SmackDown. SmackDown's like, we're making sure we're stealing some good stuff right here from Monday Night Raw. We're making sure we're shaking up our roster, not like Raw. And this is what I told you about the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family could be broken up here tonight as well. But I'm hearing word that Raw has selected their next pick. But Bray Wyatt's hoping that Shane and Heartbreak Kid keep the Wyatt family together. And here we go. Next pick is the Cruiserweight Champion. The Cruiserweight Champion has been stolen from SmackDown to Raw. Prince Pretty himself, Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze has main evented SmackDown a couple times since his come up from NXT. Tyler Breeze, a great addition to Raw. So as the Cruiserweight Championship goes over to Raw, that means the Cruiserweights, when they do arrive, they will be headed over to Monday Night Raw. And up next, I'm hearing we got SmackDown's picking. They're picking a champion. They're picking a champ. And the champ they have selected is Rusev Machka. Machka's coming over from Raw to SmackDown. The European champion is on SmackDown Live as Rusev has joined SmackDown. This is great right here. Rusev has been smashing, has been crushing his way. Anybody and everyone, and I'm glad he's on SmackDown now. This is what we need. This is what we need. A European champion on it, and I hear Raw is ready for their next pick. Here it is. It's the sexy pinata. It is the Ayatollah of rock and roll. It is the GOAT. It is Chris Jericho, who is switching over from SmackDown to Raw. And I think this is exactly what Chris Jericho needed. He's been a member of the Raw roster before, but he needed this switch right here. On SmackDown, he was kind of just floating around, hanging around. But on Raw now, it gives him direction. Now, what will Jericho do with this opportunity here on Monday Night Raw? I can't wait to see what the sexy pinata does, man. And I'm excited for Jericho coming over to Raw. And I'm hearing SmackDown's got the next pick. And here it is, Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. And it looks like Shane and the Heartbreak Kid might be thinking, we got to keep this Wyatt thing together, but we got to spread out the picks. That way we're not, letting SmackDown know what we're trying to do here. And Luke Harper of the Wyatt family has been selected to SmackDown Live. And Bray's probably very happy about this. Bray's like, that's a good pick right there. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you got to do right here. And up next, Raw's making the next pick. Raw is taking Braun Strowman. Strowman's coming, staying on Raw. Oh my God, that's a big takeaway from the Wyatts right there. Bray Wyatt probably right now not happy at all that the Authority have done this to his family. Oh dear God, and I don't even know how to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but looks like the Wyatt family might be looking like they're ending. But SmackDown getting ready for the next pick. Tag Team Champions, I'm telling you. And it's Eric Rowan, a fantastic pick. Now you get to keep at least the original Wyatts together. You get to keep them together a little bit longer here, and it's an interesting thing now. No more Braun Strowman. What will this Wyatt family bring over to SmackDown Live without the big man Braun Strowman? I'm not taking anything away from him. Braun himself is a beast and helps out the Wyatt family out, but taking him out of it, it's going to hurt you. But Raw says they are selecting a champion up next, and it is the New Day member of Kofi Kingston. Now, let me tell you what will happen. Let's say the next pick is Big E or Xavier Woods. There's still a chance they could keep the tag team championships if Raw drafts them like that. But if SmackDown drafts Big E and Xavier Woods, well, the SmackDown titles come over to SmackDown, and Kofi Kingston must stay on Raw without no tag team title belts. But let's see what WWE Draft has up next in store for us. Shane McMahon and Shawn Michaels select the Viper, Randy Orton. And this is a great pick. This is a great pick right here, because this guy has fallen so down on I felt like this guy was a top 5 pick right here. This guy should have been gone a long time ago. But Randy Orton is coming to SmackDown Live. He is switching over from Raw. No, I'm just kidding. He's staying on SmackDown. A great pick right here. Great pick. Great job by Shane and the Heartbreak Kid. And let's see what Raw will do. Well, Raw says we're definitely keeping the tag team belts here on Monday Night Raw, as Big E is staying on Monday Night Raw with Kofi Kingston. So now the question is, what does SmackDown do? Does SmackDown break up the New Day and draft Xavier Woods up next? Well, SmackDown's telling you, hey, we're drafting somebody up next, obviously, because we're on the clock now. And let's see who SmackDown Live has selected. They have selected the Intercontinental Champion, Dolph Ziggler, keeping the champ here. SmackDown has been great because of this man. This man's a former world champion and a former U.S. champion. This man has been phenomenal while he's been here on SmackDown, and he's just good job by Shane. Knows, hey, some things don't need to be fixed about SmackDown, some things do, but Dolph Ziggler is one of those things that does not need to be fixed on SmackDown. And let's see what Raw will do up next. Will Raw complete the New Day? And they will complete the New Day. And the New Day, the tag team champions, they're breathing a sigh of relief right now. Like, whoo, we are still staying together. We're not going anywhere. We're fine right now. And that's big. That's a big pick right there for Raw to keep the New Day together. You know, SmackDown couldn't keep the Wyatts together, and we saw that tonight, which was very obvious. So it's a good thing for the New Day. The Wyatts are kind of now shaking up, but SmackDown says the next pick is going to have to be the most must-see, because it is the most must-see superstar in the WWE's history, a former WWE champion, The Miz. And The Miz might love the fact that he's coming over from Raw to SmackDown, because this could help his career revival, his career resurrection that he needs. The Miz, this is the perfect place for you. I believe you could go after the Intercontinental title, the European title. You could go after any of those, because the top title right now on SmackDown is the Intercontinental Championship, whether you like it or not. And Raw's ready to make the next pick. Raw says, let's bolster up our women's division with one tough woman, a woman who was the women's champion, who took that championship away from AJ Lee. Let's bolster it up with Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, a strong choice for the Monday Night Raw brand. She will be staying on Monday Night Raw. This is her home right here, so keeping her here, making sure, but this time it's exclusive. These ladies stay exclusive to this and the Divas show, and that's it. No cross-brand match, nothing like that. And SmackDown said, we're taking the former NXT Women's Champion, a former WWE Women's Tag Champion, and Summer Rae. And Summer Rae again was part of the SmackDown roster. Now staying here at SmackDown, which is a great pick right here, because Summer Rae has a lot of talent to be in a tag team position or even in a one-on-one match. I'm loving this. I'm loving these picks right here. These are some good picks right now. So let's get this. Let's see who will Raw pick up next. Raw says we're gonna keep the Bella twins together, as Brie Bella will be part of Monday Night Raw. The Bella twins will stay together, and they get to do what they have to do, and I'm happy about it. I think it's a good pick by them, and that's exactly what you need. You need to keep these ladies together, because if you don't keep them together, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And up next, though, who does SmackDown select? You know, there's a lot of women out there. There's still a lot of people on the board. Kristen, Kane, the Dudleys. You know, you got a lot of things going on right now. And here it is. SmackDown says, our pick, I guess it's like, all right, you guys want to pick a woman? We'll pick a woman, and we'll pick Alicia Fox, a former Divas champion, a former Divas TV champion, a former Divas Tag Team champion, Women's Tag Team champion. Those are the titles she's held before. And Alicia Fox, a great pick right here, keeping her together with Summer Rae, hoping that tag team title can come over. And where's Naomi and Tamina? Maybe they're the next one's picked, because you need to pick the champions. They're tag team champions. They shouldn't be disrespected like this. But hey, again, that's just what I'm saying. Up next, Raw. Christian, who was on campaigning, doing everything he could to avoid being drafted to Monday Night Raw, has now been drafted to Monday Night Raw. And Christian said if he was going to be drafted to Monday Night Raw, he would retire. I don't know what Christian does now. He's got to stay true to his word, right? He's got to retire now because this is, wow, big shocker right here for Christian. And SmackDown has selected one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Naomi. And Naomi, a great pick for SmackDown right here. Great job right here because this woman is athletic, talented, skilled. All the great things you can say about somebody in that ring, she's got it. She can do it, anything. You know, her dancing background has brought her something here in the WWE. And Naomi, a great pick for the women's roster to put more depth into it right here. And Raw is ready to pick up next, and Raw has selected to keep. They're taking a SmackDown tag team member of the Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray Dudley is coming to Monday Night Raw, where the tag team championships are at, and the Dudleys have been very vocal about it. But the question is, will Bubba be followed by Devon? Because if he's not followed by Devon, Bubba's about to have himself a solo career. And we know before in the draft history, when Bubba's been drafted without Devon, it's ended kind of badly. And SmackDown's pick is coming over from Monday Night Raw. It is the Big Red Machine, Kane. And this might be what Kane wants. Kane may want to come over to SmackDown because the Wyatts are here. It's a good thing. He hates the Wyatts. Get yourself a piece of Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. Beat the crap out of him and revive and bring back that career you had, man. Be that monster you once were, Kane. Do it again, Kane. Do it. Do it, man. It shows what you got. But up next, the next pick for Monday Night Raw is Devon Dudley, and great pick right here to keep the Dudley boys together and put a little bit of depth into your, put another tag team into your tag team division, a solidified tag team. The Dudley boys coming over from SmackDown to Raw, and again, I don't know what else to say. It's a big pick right there for him. And SmackDown says, hey, you guys want to do a little tag team division? You guys want to build your little tag team division? Okay, we got the Wyatts, but guess who else we got now? Because I'm hearing the next pick is a machine gunner, and it's Carl Anderson from the club. Oh my God, this takes away Carl Anderson away from AJ Styles. Holy snap-a-moly. The question now is, will Monday Night Raw be quick to take Luke Gallows, at least keep Luke Gallows with AJ Styles? Because that's what they want to do. They want to make sure to keep the club together. If that's just what I'm thinking, unless Triple H just wants to say, hey, I drafted AJ Styles, I'm not going to draft the club at all. Because I want to just keep him away from, I want to keep his help away and see what he can really do. And, come Monday Night Raw, no disrespect to Maria. Monday Night Raw has drafted Maria, but this should have been Luke Gallows right here. This should have been Luke Gallows being drafted right here to keep at least the club together with AJ. But I'm not going to question what the authority have to say. They have selected Maria, I guess, bolstering up the women's division here on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. We'll see if they're smart. They know what the next pick is, and you must know what the next pick is for SmackDown Live. It is Luke Gallows, another name added. The club, 2/3 of the club has been taken out, has been taken off of Monday Night Raw and now on SmackDown Live. And this is interesting to see what Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows can do without AJ Styles, and what AJ Styles can do without Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. This should be interesting to see, and I don't know if this was all planned by the authority. But up next, the next pick in the WWE draft will go to Monday Night Raw, and they have selected a member of the Prime Time Players. It is Mr. No Days Off, Mr. Darren Young, D-Money D Young, coming over from SmackDown to Raw. Darren Young has been in singles matches. He's had some good matches with Randy Orton before. Hasn't been able to beat Randy Orton for it. But hey, Monday Night Raw is a new home for you, Darren. This is time for you to probably get into the U.S. Championship picture. Get somewhere in it, man. But this is big news for Darren Young right here. As up next, SmackDown says we're going to pick somebody who's already on our roster, but he's always been good. Tyson Kidd, a guy, again, who on SmackDown has proven why SmackDown has been the better show than Monday Night Raw on our Universe mode. Every time we've had a solid matchup, this guy could be in one of those solid matches on SmackDown, and that's what Shane wants. Shane wants someone who can get in that ring and deliver a good matchup, deliver a good, entertaining matchup for people to see. And Tyson Kidd, a former tag team champion, things are not going the way he wants to, but hey, it's a good thing for Tyson Kidd to be drafted over to SmackDown. Up next pick is Oh, Stardust, who we don't know what we get on this pick right here. This is a very interesting pick right here. Do we get Stardust or do we get Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes, we saw him in NXT Takeover. We saw him there, but Stardust has said no, he's never coming to Raw or SmackDown. No, he's not coming to SmackDown because SmackDown's not going to happen. But now, Cody Rhodes / Stardust being drafted on Monday Night Raw, being taken away from SmackDown to Raw. And we'll see what we get there. But SmackDown says up next is our turn, baby. And they have selected to keep the big athlete, the biggest athlete the world has ever seen. I'm just kidding. The big man, Big Show, will stay on SmackDown Live. And SmackDown Live seems a little bit clearer now. You have Big Show who's been wandering around here, but SmackDown can keep him happy here, man. Maybe we can keep him happy here. This is a different draft now, different people. Big Show is always great to have the big man. But up next, Monday Night Raw is ready to pick somebody. And who does Monday Night Raw pick right now? They're picking a former WWE champion, former world champion, former U.S. champion, former Mr. Money in the Bank, a former Royal Rumble winner, and Alberto Del Rio, who is the #1 contender for the U.S. Championship, but has not used the opportunity, will stay on Monday Night Raw, and that should be an interesting thing. But who's up next for SmackDown? SmackDown up next. You got the real deal. The Titus brand will stay on SmackDown. And I guess his Royal Rumble, he was the final 3 in the Royal Rumble. I guess that final 3 was good for Shane McMahon. Shane was like, you know what, you kept your word. I'm going to keep my word. I'm not going to pick you a #1, but I'm going to give you a good chance here on SmackDown Live. And Titus O'Neil will stay out here on SmackDown. Sorry about that. And up next, the next pick is going to go to Monday Night Raw. And who will they select? And oh no, they've selected Tamina, but Naomi's over on SmackDown. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to talk about. They're tag team champions. Those titles they're done. That's it. They're not belonging to any of the two anymore. And Tamina and Naomi are no longer tag team champions because of the separation. So the tag team titles, we don't know what will happen to them now. Holy crap! But oh my. SmackDown has selected the All-American, the Patriot, Jack Swagger. And again, I'm no disrespect to Jack Swagger. I know he deserves his 30 seconds right now. But what happens to the Women's Tag Team Championships now with that pick over there? And Jack Swagger staying on SmackDown, where Swagger has had chances here and been given chances. Can Swagger capitalize on his new chance? His new fact that Shane says, I believe in you. You're going to stay here on SmackDown. And up next, who gets picked for Monday Night Raw? A former NXT champion, and Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas, a former NXT champion. Bo Dallas hoping the rest of his Social Outcast members are able to join him here on Monday Night Raw to be Bo Levers to help the Social Outcast movement keep going. Again, I'm still over that tag team championship. That tag team championship belongs to nobody now, but maybe something happens to it when we watch Divas on Friday. But let's see, SmackDown's next pick is Curtis Axel. He will stay on SmackDown Live. And, SmackDown has treated this man fairly. He just can't get it done. He can't get the right wins. It's not SmackDown's management's fault that this guy hasn't got a head. It's just that he can't pick up a win when he needs it. But, hey, he's been on a little bit of a roll, except for the Royal Rumble and that Battle Royal at the Royal Rumble. Except for the Royal Rumble in general. Curtis Axel has won 2 in a row, man. That's a big story from Curtis Axel right there. And we'll see who the next pick is for Monday Night Raw. Who is Monday Night Raw selected? Ooh, Goldust. Goldust coming over from SmackDown to Raw. Goldust, who said, hey, I'm putting on matches now. I'm going in there again. I'm finding this fire again. I'm finding this passion again that I had for this business. I'm finding it all over again, and I'm ready to go right here. And with his brother now here on Raw, again, they both were on SmackDown, and they're back again together. Maybe we'll see these guys go at it and finally do something about it, but we don't know yet. SmackDown Live has selected the one-man band, baby. Heath Slater will be reunited with Curtis Axel here on SmackDown. The man is from SmackDown, so at least he'll be together. But the Social Outcasts, they're 2 out of 3. The other Outcast is on Monday Night Raw. Bo Dallas, who was a Monday Night Raw member before. Remember, those rules weren't as strict as they are now because main event now is strictly for SmackDown and Superstars is for Raw. And that's how these guys got together on main events. But up next, who has Raw selected? Here we go. Monday Night Raw says we are keeping the tag team division going strong with Jimmy Uso. Jimmy will stay on Monday Night Raw. And the Usos, hoping they don't get separated. Up next, will Shane McMahon and Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, will they break up the Usos? We can only tell by the next pick. The next pick, here we go. I'm waiting for it. What a draft that's already been. Big names off the board, but there's still some big. Remember, the NXT part's still coming up. It's R-Truth going to SmackDown, from Raw to SmackDown, and this could be the opportunity R-Truth wanted. He probably wanted to go over to SmackDown and be able to beat some, but no more of a losing guy, a guy who always loses here and there. Again, the NXT round comes in at the end after all the guys have been drafted from the main roster. Everyone here has been drafted. Up next, who will Raw pick? Will they keep the Usos together or no? And it's Jey Uso. Jey and Jimmy have been kept on Monday Night Raw. The tag team division on Monday Night Raw looks like it's still going to be strong. Still going to be going with these tag teams here. It's a good pick right here. Jey Uso deserves to be at this choice right here. And again, remember, guys, if you guys are hoping for the NXT draft, you're wondering with Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, the Royal Rumble winner, Finn Balor, is at. They're coming at the end of the main roster draft. Up next is going to be a big pick. Up next, it's going to be SmackDown's pick, and they're keeping, they're grabbing over from Monday Night Raw, Fandango, a staple of main event, the guy who is the master of the dance, a former NXT champion, a former NXT tag team champion, has been successful in the NXT brand, coming up now, hoping to find something, and maybe with this draft, maybe he could find something here on SmackDown Live. At SmackDown Live will now have Fandango on, and Monday Night Raw is ready to pick. They're ready to pick the guy who came up so close all of last year. It is the broski with a moski. It is coming over from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. It is Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder coming over, man. And this is a big shock for Zack Ryder. He's like, oh man, I was doing my thing. I was getting close on SmackDown. Well, maybe on Raw now he can come up closer. Maybe now he can come and do something now on Monday Night Raw. And SmackDown says we're ready to make the next pick, and they are going to choose. They're keeping Awesome Kong on SmackDown. Awesome Kong says, hey, I did my part. I tried to help out SmackDown on Raw, but it didn't happen. She lost to Emma, but she will stay on SmackDown as Awesome Kong is delivering that fact to herself that, hey, I'm on SmackDown now. This is a division that's got plenty of women out here that's ready to do something. Let's see what Monday Night Raw does up next with this pick right here. Maybe a lady will be coming over to Raw, and the pick is, it's the world's strongest athlete. The world's strongest man, the world's strongest athlete, the world's strongest sexual chocolate. It is Mark Henry, and Mark Henry will stay on Monday Night Raw. Mark Henry, who had a hell of a battle with Big Show at main event a couple weeks ago. Mark Henry proud that he's still here, and he's going to do his thing and maybe get a chance again on Monday Night Raw. Is up next, though. We will see what SmackDown Live does here, as it will be the pick that they choose. And it is Diego from Los Matadores. Those Matadors will stay on SmackDown. Well, one half of those Matadors will stay on SmackDown. Remember that. The next pick could just be Fernando and his gracing right here. And I remember, ladies and gentlemen, the last two picks will go to SmackDown Live. They will go to SmackDown Live because Raw got the first two picks. So the next pick, though, will go over to Monday Night Raw, and Raw's got 2 more picks. SmackDown's got 3 more picks. Let's see what they choose. Monday Night Raw has said, we're taking Mickie James. Mickie James off the board. Mickie James going to be a great addition to the Monday Night Raw women's, who's already good right now. But hey, Mickie James coming over with Paige, coming over to see Paige, coming over to Nikki, Brie, Maria. It's going to be an interesting with Emma too there. It's going to be something you want to watch in that women's division on Monday Night Raw, getting stronger and stronger. But up next, though, here we go. Who has... All right, so SmackDown looks like they're keeping those Matadors together to help their tag team division, at least to keep that together. The tag team of those Matadors will stay on SmackDown. It's a great pick, but Monday Night Raw has got 1 more pick to go, and I wonder who will SmackDown pick. There's still a couple names left, and those names are pretty good right now. Pretty good picks right here. There's actually like 2 names left to go, and I would do the one obvious pick, and that's the man in the hat. But the pick Monday Night Raw has done is to help this women's division get even stronger. Obviously, it seems like Monday Night Raw wants to build the best women's division they can, and they have said, let's get AJ Lee. Let's keep AJ Lee. Let's see what AJ Lee has come back to Monday Night Raw. Has come back to the WWE, and Monday Night Raw is her new home. And holy smoly, holy kaboli, hanoli, no, AJ Lee is staying. And on SmackDown Live, here we go. The next pick is, oh, the Mrs. Maurice, the Mrs. Wife of Maurice is now a part of SmackDown Live with her husband, The Miz. So this should be interesting now that we know Maurice is definitely under WWE contract and now part to be here with The Miz. This should be an interesting pairing, but the SmackDown locker room has to see the last pick, and the last pick is gonna be a big one. It's gotta be that guy. It's gotta be Mr. SmackDown himself. It is the last pick, but definitely not the least. It is the Dead Man. And the reasoning for Shane and the Heartbreak Kids pick, their reasoning for this pick being so late is because, you know, as great as the man is the Phenom himself, as amazing as he's been, he only comes around WrestleMania season, which is now. And that's why we want him on SmackDown Live. And up next, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere with this being drafted right now. Don't go anywhere with the future now. Comes up next, as this will be the NXT draft. The 5 picks from NXT for each show will come up as soon as they are drafted. Part of the main roster. The rest of them will stay. The rest of the picks will stay on NXT, but the draft rights are there. They're able to be traded if it happens. If SmackDown and Raw do trades, the other guys will stay on NXT, and the other ladies will also stay on NXT. They are just draft rights. Not everybody from NXT will be drafted. There is a certain number of people that can be drafted. But let's get the NXT draft with Monday Night Raw choosing first, and they have chosen, this was an obvious pick, the winner of the Royal Rumble, Finn Balor. And Balor joining an extraordinary Raw roster already, a roster that has gonna have a guy that he eliminated, the last man he eliminated in the Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman. But Finn Balor is coming over to Monday Night Raw. It's a big time pick right there by Monday Night Raw, and I'm happy with that. It's big. And SmackDown chooses up next, and they have selected the former NXT champion, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens coming from NXT to SmackDown Live to start his WWE career on the main roster. This should be interesting to see the former NXT champion up here, man. Kevin Owens is going to be joining a big-time roster with John Cena, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, and Bray Wyatt, and it's just going to be interesting to see what he has right here. Up next, though, Raw says, let's enter something here. Let's get bossed up, and they're gonna definitely have the boss of the women's division. They have Sasha Banks, and their women's division is just stacked now, as Sasha has joined Monday Night Raw, and I can't wait to see what Sasha does on the main roster now, saying farewell at NXT so she can come up to Monday Night Raw and deliver some of the magic we've known her for on NXT. But SmackDown ready to make the next pick, and they have said, let's take the underdog from the underground. It's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn says SmackDown Live is going to be my new home. I guess so. I guess that's where I'm going now. It's a former NXT Young Tiger champion, Sami Zayn, man. Like, I can't wait to see what he's able to do on SmackDown Live. I see what he's done on NXT every night, every week, every day. I see it, and he handles his business. But Raw says, let's make the next pick. Let's do something big. Let's do it with Flair, and they have selected Charlotte Flair from NXT, the former NXT Women's Champion, coming over to Monday Night Raw. And this women's division is definitely going to have a lot of competition in it. Paige better be careful what she wishes for. This is going to be a tough division to beat right here for Paige. She's going to have a lot of challengers going after Charlotte. Definitely going to be one of those. But SmackDown ready to do something big. SmackDown says, okay, we got to make a pick up next, and they're taking Neville, the man who gravity forgot, the king of the cruiserweights is what he wants to be called from now on. Says, hey, you know, I was excluded from the cruiserweight tournament that I should have been a part of, and I was excluded from it, but I'm gonna make sure people know who I am. And Neville is part of SmackDown Live, joining Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as his NXT guys come up here on this. And let's see what Raw does up next. It's got to be a big pick. The NXT champion's obviously still out there. You got to do that. And no, it's Sin Cara. Sin Cara, a man who's already been part of the Raw roster before, went on down to NXT to get a little bit better, and he formed a tag team with Kalisto. But him and Kalisto said we're gonna be separated because tag teams here will be drafted together. That's the way it'll be. But Sin Cara now has joined the Monday Night roster, and we got to figure out who the next guy is for SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live has selected who's next. SmackDown Live. It's got to be Samoa Joe right here. No, it's Kalisto. Kalisto has been drafted over to SmackDown Live, and hey, I'm not taking anything away from Kalisto. I thought it would be the NXT champion or Shinsuke Nakamura because those guys are the big names on NXT. But hey, Kalisto's a good name to add up to the SmackDown Live roster, and it's a good pick for right here for SmackDown. SmackDown could add a guy like Kalisto into the Intercontinental Championship picture. Well, it could be any kind of title because the Intercontinental Championship is the biggest title now on SmackDown Live. But let's see who Monday Night Raw selects up next. And Monday Night Raw says, our women's division is going to get a lot better now. We now have Alexa Bliss. Miss Bliss coming over to Monday Night Raw. The women's division on Raw is just stacked with talent, and I can't wait to see what we see on Monday Night Raw with the ladies. It's going to be big. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. But NXT's last pick, this is the last person who will be called up like that. It is Straight Fire Becky Balboa. It is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch coming over to SmackDown. This should be an interesting pick right here. SmackDown needs a little bit more bolstering up into the women's division. It's not bad already, but you get to add someone like Becky Lynch. This could be the future of the women's division right here on SmackDown Live, and it's a good pick for SmackDown to do right here. Shane and Heartbreak Kid, go ahead, pat yourself on the back on this one. But up next, let's see who the Monday Night roster has selected. It is the Lone Wolf, a former NXT Young Tiger champion. It is Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin going to join the Monday Night Raw roster. Well, his draft rights belong to Monday Night Raw. In case he ever wants to come up, he belongs on Monday Night Raw now, and it's going to be big. It's going to be interesting to see Baron Corbin on Monday Night Raw. And let's see who is the next pick for SmackDown. Their draft rights belong to SmackDown, and it is the hugger amongst huggers. It is Bayley. Bayley's coming to SmackDown Live whenever she's ready to make her main roster debut. All these are the draft rights and the draft goods to them. So remember, the draft rights just mean that, hey, your draft rights belong to SmackDown or Raw whenever they were ready to choose you up, or if they want to call you up, they can call you up. If you want to come up, then you can come up and tell them, hey, I want to come up, and then SmackDown gets the choice. When we're not, but the next pick and the draft rights for NXT, it is the most electrifying man in all of NXT. It is Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura has been impressive in every match he has had. Has always been his big 2 NXT fights already against former WWE champion, WWE Superstar 1, and a match against James Storm, the Cowboy, have been phenomenal matches on the NXT road, man. Let's see NXT now. The next one. Oh, the NXT champion. Might feel a lot of disrespect that he wasn't drafted to the main roster, but the NXT champion, when he's ready to come up, SmackDown Live will see the Samoan submission machine, the monster, the guy known as the NXT champion, Samoa Joe. Oh baby, this is a big pick for SmackDown Live. We got lucky that he wasn't picked any earlier. But let's see who Monday Night Raw has selected up next, and they have selected the greatest man that ever lived. Whoever did this pick, great pick right here by the Authority. Austin Aries, the greatest man who ever lived, is the best pick to choose right here for them right here. I think this is a guy who will come up to Raw when he's ready and willing to go and steal shows, do what he needs to do. A guy who is a great pick for him, and that's all I gotta say. A great pick for Monday Night Raw. As SmackDown says, let's see what we do up next. SmackDown has said we're picking the tag team of American Alpha, and that's a perfect pick right here because you need to bolster up your tag team, and what a better way to do it than to get the rights to draft this tag team, one of the most exciting tag teams in NXT. One of those guys that you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss the likes of Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, William Abel, and Gable. Man, this is a good choice right here to help the tag team division of SmackDown. And let's see what Raw does up next. Let's see what they do up next. Raw has selected this team, or this person, or this woman, and they've selected the Ascension. The Ascension is coming to Monday Night Raw. A tag team division that needs a little bit more too right there, and the Ascension say we'll be coming up soon. We'll be coming up when we're ready to take what's ours. This is a very powerful tag team, a very dominant tag team who can get wins and can do whatever they feel like doing, man. And Monday Night Raw has done a great job by picking these guys up. And up next, who has SmackDown selected? SmackDown has said we are selecting the Women's Champion, the NXT Women's Champion, the new Asuka. Asuka is coming over to SmackDown when she's ready, man. When she's ready to come up. Come on, Asuka. Bring that NXT Women's Championship with you as well. Asuka says, I'm going to SmackDown Live, and I'm going to make sure I'm making the division to be. I make sure that it's going to be the best it can be, man. And that's a good pick right there. That's adding more Becky Lynch and Bayley coming over, and now they know that Asuka will be coming up. And Ross says the next pick is going to be glorious Bobby Roode. When he's ready, the rights belong to Monday Night Raw. Bobby Roode. We will hopefully see him in the Monday Night Raw scene sooner rather than later. Bobby Roode. Oh, baby, that's a big one right there. And SmackDown says, okay, that's a tough one to beat, but you know how we'll beat you? We're going to bolster up this, and we're going to do it because if you're not, for your so-called Monday Night Raw, they are SAWFT. Soft. It is Enzo and Cass on SmackDown Live, and this is going to help the tag team division again. You added they're doing a lot. SmackDown's doing a lot right here with theirs. They're not adding the biggest names, but they are adding some big names, but they are adding depth into their divisions. They are saying, like, I see where women's division is low. We got to add the tag team division. We're going to do that in this one right here, and they're doing that right now. But hey, SmackDown, you got to compete with this right here for Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw has selected the so-called best tag team in the world, the Revival. The Revival. Oh, this is a very good tag team, and I like the way they do their work inside the ring. Not flashy, but it's just with fists, man. And the Revival is coming to Monday Night Raw. Their draft picks, their draft rights belong to Monday Night Raw. But SmackDown said, you know what? There's a tag team on NXT. There's a tag team not many people know from SmackDown. It is the No, I'm just kidding. It is the Authors of Pain, baby. I almost said the Revival there. But it's the Authors of Pain, who are still a young tag team. And again, this is the beauty of the draft rights right here. You got the draft rights to this team just in case, you don't want to bring them up yet. You got them right here. And the Authors of Pain, when they're ready to make their debut on the WWE scene, it will be SmackDown Live's territory. But again, a lot of things happen, but this is where it comes up. And this is the next pick for Monday Night Raw. It is No Way Jose. No Way Jose. No Way Jose is part of Monday Night Raw when he's ready. Again, another young superstar on the NXT scene. Again, this is the beauty of the draft rights. You don't know what you're going to get for sure, but you get to pick them at least in case they become big stars. And if not, you can always just trade it away or say, nah, he'll stay on NXT forever. That's the way it'll be. But No Way Jose is going to be on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of adding depth into their division, SmackDown has said she's not like most girls, but she is Nia Jax. And Nia Jax is adding more depth into the SmackDown Women's division when she is ready to bring herself up to the WWE. Dominant Nia Jax will be seeing SmackDown as her new home. And that's a good one right there. It's a good pick by Shane and Shawn Michaels, saying, hey, this is what we had to do. We had to make sure we had an in-depth analysis of everything, and Nia Jax is one of those we want. And Raw has said, well, adding tag team depth isn't hurtful. We're going to add Blake and Murphy. Blake and Murphy, a solid pick right here. Solid tag team pick right here. Tag team that can help your tag team division get even better and stronger and even more competitive. Blake and Murphy going to hopefully add that to their division. But up next, though, SmackDown ready to make the next pick. I wonder what SmackDown will select. I think SmackDown's got to make the right pick. And the next pick for SmackDown is Ember Moon. Ember Moon, one of the newest women on the scene in NXT. Ember Moon has already seen the challenge of Nia Jax, and Ember Moon and Nia Jax. Look at that right there. It's like someone wrote this, someone scripted this to be like that. But SmackDown's told Ember Moon, when you're ready to come up, we want you to be added to our women's division. So I love what SmackDown is doing with their women's division. They are adding young talent. Raw has adding some young talent and some established talent together, but SmackDown hoping that that women's division is strong for a long time. But oh, Raw. There's only one rating for this. 10. You get a perfect 10 on this one because Ty Dillinger has been picked over to Monday Night Raw, and Ty Dillinger is here. Ty Dillinger is probably very happy the fact that they wanted me. They actually wanted me. There's still some big names that need to come off the board here on NXT's side. There's a lot of names. You still haven't even taken the Young Tiger champion yet. That's a big one right there. Or the tag team champions are still here. But SmackDown says we want to add more depth to our women's division. This is the third straight woman they have selected, Liv Morgan, who we haven't seen much of on our NXT universe. But hey, they must think of something high of her to pick her up right here. So Liv Morgan, again, one of those ladies that needs to be kept right there. So she will be coming up to SmackDown when she is ready. I feel like she still has a lot to do in NXT, so it might be a while before we see her on SmackDown. And if it is, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. SmackDown's making these smart future picks. As Raw says, we're making a pick like that too with Peyton Royce, who I believe has a lot of improvement to do. But Peyton Royce could be someone to deal with. Peyton Royce has an alliance with Billie Kay, both of them together. Again, another woman who might take her time to get up here on the main roster because she has a lot to do still on NXT. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine. This is why you use these picks on these people right here. These are your draft rights. These are people who you believe, they need a little bit more time still on NXT to get better, to do what they have to do. But SmackDown says, you know what, we're taking Mr. NXT. So when he's ready to leave NXT, he becomes Mr. SmackDown Live. Roderick Strong is coming over to SmackDown when he's ready. And I know Roderick's thinking to himself, holy crap, I just made my debut on TakeOver Brooklyn now, TakeOver London, and now I'm part of SmackDown Live, and I'm part of the SmackDown Live family, but I'm still part of NXT, but part of the SmackDown Live family, which isn't bad at all. Roderick Strong. And Raw says, you know what, we're going to keep this pick next. We're going to get this. And they're saying we're going to keep Billie Kay and Peyton Royce together, as Billie Kay, her draft rights have been drafted to Monday Night Raw alongside Peyton Royce. And again, smart pick right here by Monday Night Raw. Says, hey, we're going to add some young talent too, because that's what we've been doing. We're going to add established and young talent together on our roster. And Monday Night Raw definitely making sure their women's division is a strong division to go to, with a lot of depth in it right there. But up next, SmackDown says, this guy I can't believe no one's taking this guy yet. He's pretty strong in his NXT career. It is the man, Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews coming over to SmackDown Live. And this is a good pick. I gotta say, Apollo Crews has a lot of talent, a lot of potential on NXT and what we've seen with him, man. He took down Cody Rhodes. Him and Cody Rhodes tore the house down at TakeOver London, man. That's a match you need to watch if you haven't seen it. And it's a good pick by SmackDown. They know this guy still needs a little bit more time to develop down in the system. They're going to let him do that, man. But let's see what Raw does up next. Raw has selected Eric Young. Now, this isn't the whole Sanity crew, so the question is, where's the rest of Sanity going to fall in place right here? But Eric Young, the Young Tiger champion, is coming to Monday Night Raw when he's ready and able to come up. Eric Young, the Young Tiger champion, says, hey, I'm the Young Tiger champion for a reason, and I've been drafted again. He might not like where he was drafted, but his reasoning behind all this. NXT, though, up next. We'll see who gets drafted up next. It is the man beast, Rhino. Rhino is coming to SmackDown, and this guy's a guy who's come back to NXT to help his career revive. So I got to make sure I'm ready for the main roster, get a little bit of spot here. But him and James Storm recently had a little bit of turmoil. Him and James Storm were on best. They were a good friend occasion. They were good friends, and I didn't think they would ever fight against each other. But it turns out that's not the case anymore. That's not the way it's going to be. As James Storm and Rhino, Rhino's coming over to SmackDown whenever he's ready. But up next pick is, you better get ready to get hype, and this could add more tag team depth into Monday Night Raw with Mojo Rawley coming up, and he might be able to form the Hype Bros with Zack Ryder, and they might be able to do their things. Mojo made an appearance on Main Event with Zack Ryder, and they were the Hype Bros there, and they were doing their thing. So will we see Mojo get ready to make his appearance on Monday Night Raw sooner rather than later? He might be coming up soon, and you just don't know it. But up next, SmackDown says, let's add more depth. Let's add more talent to our tag team division. Let's add Aiden English and Simon Gotch, the Vaughn Villains. And the Vaughn Villains, a solid tag team, man. This tag team will deliver every time they're supposed to go out there and do their thing. This is a very good team, and I give SmackDown credit on this. I give Shane and the Heartbreak Kid credit on this. This is a good pick right here. And there's only one more pick for Monday Night Raw and only one more pick for SmackDown. Again, like I said, there will be forgotten names in the draft, and we will talk about that later. But up next pick for Monday Night Raw. Oh, Andrade Cien Almas, who I believe is still finding his place, but says, hey, I'm already going for the NXT Championship if I'm able to beat Roderick Strong tomorrow night on NXT. I'm going to be going for the NXT Championship, and right now, Andrade Cien Almas says, hey, my draft rights belong to Monday Night Raw, but right now I'm on NXT, hoping to become the next NXT Champion, and this is a good pick right here, and, you know, right now the next pick has to be Hideo Itami. It has to be Itami. Come on, SmackDown, do the right thing. And they picked Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke, no disrespect to you, ma'am, but I guess SmackDown wants to bolster up the division of theirs, their women's division. But Hideo Itami not picked. The tag team champions not picked. James Storm's not picked. Again, like I said, it was a certain number of picks that could be taken from NXT. But again, Hideo Itami is not taken. What is wrong with you? Oh, come on. I'm sorry, but the draft rights to some NXT stars still out there, you know, still out there. But, ladies and gentlemen, this was the WWE draft for my story mode, for my universe mode, what we're going to call it nowadays. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, comments, y'all know where to place it down in the comment section down there. And I'll make sure I get to it as soon as possible, which will hopefully be like within 10 minutes. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, comment, like, subscribe, share. I don't know what people do anymore. Cheap plug. You're beautiful people. There you go, cheap plug.